Hello dear students. In today's class I am going to explain about Rutherford theory of alpha scattering. So before going to this concept, let me explain the assumptions of Rutherford. So the first assumption of Rutherford is the entire mass and positive charge of the atom are conserved within a very small central region. So if I take the entire mass and positive charge of the entire atom, so that positive charge acts as a nucleus and the negative charge is uniformly distributed around the nucleus. So if I consider this the positive charge, so the negative charge is uniformly circulated or uniformly distributed around the nucleus in the form of sphere. That is the first assumption. So the second Rutherford assumption is the nucleus and alpha particle are considered as point charges. So the both nucleus and alpha particles are considered as point charges. So the third Rutherford assumption is the large angle scattering is caused by repulsive force between nucleus and alpha particle. It means, for example, I have alpha particle here. I have nucleus here and alpha particle is here. When the distance between these two is maximum, the electrostatic repulsive force is less, in the sense negligible. So when it comes near to the nucleus, it get scattered or it get away from the nucleus. So at the time the scattered angle is formed. So the fourth assumption is the electrostatic repulsive force between nucleus and alpha particle is inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. In the sense, if the distance between nucleus and alpha particle is less, the electrostatic repulsive force is maximum. So if the distance between nucleus and alpha particle is more, so it is the electrostatic repulsive force is minimum. And fifth assumption is the nucleus is heavier than alpha particle, its motion during scattering is negligible. It means if the nucleus has heavier than the alpha particle, the motion can be neglected. So these are the 5 assumptions of Rutherford alpha scattering. So now when I coming to the concept, see, this is the diagram. So I will consider an atomic nucleus of charge plus Ze situated at S. Let an alpha particle of mass m and moving with a velocity v to approach the nucleus in along AOB. Initially the alpha particle is far away from the nucleus. When the distance between alpha particle and nucleus is maximum, so the electrostatic repulsive force is minimum. So we can neglect that electrostatic repulsive force. So here the potential energy is also negligible. So the entire energy of the system is kinetic energy. is equal to 1 by 2 mv square. So this can also be written as E alpha. So E alpha is equal to 1 by 2 mv square. Draw SG perpendicular to nucleus and the incident direction. So it is P. So this is called impact parameter. This impact parameter is defined as the minimum distance of alpha particle would have approached the nucleus if there were no any other forces between them. So once again I will explain impact parameter. So the impact parameter is defined as the minimum distance to which the alpha particle would approach the nucleus if there were no any other forces between them. So now when this alpha particle approach the nucleus, the trajectory bends more and more away from the nucleus due to the increase in electrostatic repulsive force. So initially I told if the distance between alpha particle and nucleus is maximum, the electrostatic repulsive force is minimum. When it comes near to the nucleus, so the distance will decrease. So when the distance is less, the electrostatic repulsive force is maximum. So when it comes near to the nucleus, it bends more and more away from the nucleus, and it reaches the finally it reaches the position Q, and it get away from the it move away from the nucleus along QR. So now the potential energy V is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught Z E divided by A plus D. This A plus D is the, before coming to this, here this S, small s is the distance between the nucleus and Q. So that is the smallest distance, and A is the distance between nucleus and A, and D is the distance between O and Q. So here the distance between nucleus and this Q is A plus D. I will write into 2E. This 2E is because the charge of an alpha particle is twice of E. So we can rewrite this equation as V is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught 2 ZE square divided by A plus D. So this A plus D is nothing but S. So we will write S. So I called this is equation number 1. Now see, the smallest distance of approach alpha particle to the nucleus is this SQ. So this SQ can be written as SQ is equal to S, that is equal to A plus D. So SQ is equal to S or A plus D. I call this is equation number 2. Now from the figure, OQ is equal to OG is equal to D. So from the figure, OQ is equal to OG is equal to D. So now I will consider this triangle GOS. So consider triangle GOS. So this triangle GOS, here cos pi is equal to adjacent by hypotenuse. So for here this is the opposite and this is the adjacent and this is adjacent and this is hypotenuse. So for this adjacent is D and hypotenuse is A. So in this equation D is equal to A cos pi. So I call this is equation number 3. Also for the same triangle, if I take sin pi is equal to opposite by hypotenuse. So in this triangle opposite is P and hypotenuse is A. So this becomes here P by A. So here A is equal to P divided by sin pi, or else P is equal to A sin phi. I called this is equation number 4. Now substitute equation 3 in equation 2. Equation 2. What is that equation 2? SQ is equal to S is equal to A plus D, or else S is equal to A plus D. I will write S is equal to A as it is plus D is from equation 3 D is equal to A cos phi. So here S is equal to, I will take A common, so 1 plus cos pi. Now substitute A value in this equation. So this equation becomes, so we have S is equal to A into 1 plus cos pi, that equation. So A is equal to, from this equation, A is equal to P by sin pi, substitute that. So here this equation becomes S is equal to P divided by sin pi into 1 plus cos pi. So this is called equation number 5. So this expression gives the relation between smallest distance of approach and impact parameter P. So in this, the next concept is relation between the impact parameter P and scattering angle theta. Now the velocity Vm of the particle, see at this point Q, the velocity of the particle is Vm. So here the kinetic energy becomes of m Vm square. Okay. So the total energy E is equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy. Here kinetic energy is nothing but 1 by 2 m Vm square plus potential energy from equation 1. So in equation 1, where is it? Yeah. In equation 1, the potential energy V is equal to 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught to Ze square by S. So I will substitute that. So 1 over 4 pi epsilon naught to Ze square by S. Now apply law of conservation of energy. Applying law of conservation of energy. According to law of conservation of energy, the initial energy should be equal to final energy, right? So here initially I explained when the nucleus and alpha particle are at a great distance, the electrostatic repulsive force is minimum, so the potential energy is also negligible. We have only kinetic energy, so that is of mv square is equal to the final energy is after reaching this point q is 1 by 2 m vm square plus 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught 2 ze square by s. So here 1 by 2 mv square. In these two I will take 1 by 2 m constant or outside. So I left out with Vm square plus 2 1s are 2 2s are okay. So here Z E square divided by pi epsilon naught S into m. So here 1 by 2m gets cancelled. So the remaining terms V square is equal to Vm square plus Ze square divided by pi epsilon naught S into m. So here I will take Vm square is equal to V square minus Ze square divided by pi epsilon naught S into m. In this I will write Vm square as it is. In these two terms I will take V square common. So I left out with 1 minus Ze square divided by pi epsilon naught S m into V square. So this equation can be written as Vm square divided by V square is equal to 1 minus Ze square divided by pi epsilon naught S m V square. So I call this is equation number 6. Now similarly apply law of conservation of angular momentum. So applying law of conservation of momentum at points G and Q. So we know that the angular momentum L is equal to mvr. So here m is the mass, v is the velocity and r is the distance. So here if I consider point G, here, so angular momentum is mass and velocity is same. So at this point G the distance is r, so the radius is p. Here the radius is p. Similarly, if I consider the point Q, so mass and velocity is common. Mass, velocity is Vm and the distance is from here to here is S. So we will write S. So in this equation, this m and m gets cancelled. I left out with V into P is equal to Vm into S. So this can be written as Vm by V is equal to P by S. So I call this is equation number 7. Now equation 6 becomes, so equation 6 can be written as Vm. So this equation 6 can be written as Vm square by V square is equal to 1 minus Ze square divided by pi epsilon naught ms V square. So here this can be written as, I will write 1 minus B by S, where B is equal to Ze square divided by pi epsilon naught m V square. So this is called equation number 8 and this is called equation number 9. Now we have equation 7. So equation 7 is Vm by V is equal to P by S. So from equation 7 we have Vm by V is equal to P by S. Now substitute this S value from equation 5. So from equation 5, S is equal to P by sin phi into 1 plus cos pi. Now substitute this S value in this equation. So this equation becomes Vm by V is equal to, I will write P as it is. Here we have S. So here we have 1 by S. So it becomes reciprocal. So sin pi divided by P into 1 plus cos pi. So this P and P gets cancelled. I left out with Vm by V is equal to sin pi divided by 1 plus cos pi. Now squaring the above equation. Squaring the above equation. So the above equation becomes LHS side Vm square divided by V square is equal to sin square pi divided by 1 plus cos pi whole square. So we know that sin square pi plus cos square pi is equal to 1. So sin square pi is equal to 1 minus cos square pi. Substitute that value in this equation. So here Vm square by V square is equal to, sin square is nothing but 1 minus cos square pi divided by 1 plus cos pi whole square. Now here 1 is same and 1 square is also 1. So we can write this 1 as 1 square. So this equation becomes Vm square by V square is equal to, this A square minus B square is nothing but A plus B into A minus B. So 1 plus cos pi into 1 minus cos pi divided by 1 plus cos pi whole square. So here 1 plus cos pi, this square gets cancelled. So I left out with, so the remaining term Vm square by V square is equal to 1 minus cos pi divided by 1 plus cos pi. So I call this is equation number 10. Now compare equation number 8 and 10. Compare equation 8 and 10. What is our equation 8? Observe here. Equation 8 is Vm square by V square is equal to 1 minus B by S. Equation 10 is Vm square by V square is equal to 1 minus cos pi by 1 plus cos pi. So LHS are same. So we can equate RHS side. So this becomes 1 minus B by S is equal to 1 minus cos pi divided by 1 plus cos pi. So here again substitute S value from equation 5. So this equation becomes 1 minus B divided by P into 1 plus cos pi into sin pi is equal to 1 minus cos pi divided by 1 plus cos pi. This is because S is equal to P into 1 plus cos pi divided by sin pi. I just substitute this S value in this equation. So we got this one. So this equation can be written as, I will send this B sin pi, I will rewrite this equation, 1 minus B sin pi divided by P into 1 plus cos pi is equal to 1 minus cos pi divided by 1 plus cos pi. I will send this minus B sin pi divided by P into 1 plus cos pi to RHS side, and I will shift this RHS to LHS side. So this equation becomes B sin pi divided by P into 1 plus cos pi is equal to 1 minus cos pi divided by 1 plus cos pi. So I will keep LHS side as it is, P into 1 plus cos pi. RHS side I will take 1 plus cos pi LHS. This becomes 1 plus cos pi minus 1 plus cos pi. So minus 1 plus 1 gets cancelled. So I left out with B sin pi divided by P into 1 plus cos pi is equal to 2 times cos pi divided by 1 plus cos pi. So here this 1 plus cos pi and 1 plus cos pi gets cancelled. So I left out with B divided by P into sin pi is equal to 2 cos pi. So here P is equal to, in the sense I will shift this P to this side and I will take this 2 cos pi to here. So P is equal to B divided by 2 into sin pi divided by cos pi, or else P is equal to B by 2 into tan pi. So this is called equation number 11. Now again consider this diagram. Again from figure, observe here. Here from this angle is pi and this angle is pi. This is theta. When I add these three, I have to get 180 degree. So I will write pi plus pi is 2 pi plus theta is equal to 180. So 2 pi plus theta is equal to 180, or pi plus theta by 2 is equal to pi by 2, or pi is equal to pi by 2 minus theta by 2. Now here we have pi. So if I take tan pi, that is equal to tan pi is nothing but pi by 2 minus theta by 2. So tan of 90 minus theta is, so it will change cot, tan becomes cot theta by 2. So now this tan pi is equal to cot theta by 2. Now substitute this tan pi value in equation 11. So equation 11 becomes P is equal to B by 2. Tan pi is nothing but cot theta by 2. So here what is B? B value we are considering as from equation 10. Where is that equation 10? Equation, yeah, see here. Here we have taken B is equal to ZE square divided by pi epsilon naught m v square. Substitute that value. So P is equal to B is nothing but ZE square divided by pi epsilon naught m v square into, anyway we have 2 into cot theta by 2. So this is the expression for the alpha scattering. So this equation shows that as the impact parameter P becomes smaller when the theta is increases. Just I will explain how. So if P is increases, sorry, theta is increases, P is decreases. I will tell you. For example, if theta is 0, 0 by anything is 0. So cot 0 is infinity. So if theta is minimum, the P will infinity. The P is infinity. So if theta is 60, so 60 by 2 is 30. So cot 30 is root 3. So root 3 into this. So if theta increases, P decreases. Imagine if theta is 180 degree. So 180 by 2 is 90. Cot 90 is 0. 0 into anything is 0. So if theta is maximum, P is minimum. So this is the physical significance of this equation. So this equation shows that as the impact parameter P becomes smaller, the angle of scattering theta is increased. So I hope you people understood this derivation. Thank you.